Honorable Men Discord. Salute to everyone out there. This is one of two videos where I'm going to react to two separate projects. All right, one, the James Gunn project, Superman, and then this, the Clipse album.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new, I would never cower.
So let me start by saying this. I think the Clipse album is fire. I think it's hands down the best Clipse album ever put together. Pharrell did his job. Malice and Pusha T did their job. All right. Shout out and salute to Malice for having that time lapse and still having his bars intact. Now, it's been said from the interview with Ebro that he had put out solo projects. I guess that was under the umbrella of gospel rap. Not intentionally, but I guess it was perceived as gospel rap because he wasn't cursing and the things that he was talking about. But with that being said, maybe that's why his skills were still sharp. I love the album. Overall, I love the album. There might have been one track where I felt like the energy didn't compare to the other songs. And I don't have that song in front of me, forgive me. I think we all know which record that is, though. It's somewhere towards the beginning of the album, but it just didn't keep the same momentum. Opening track, I've watched several of their interviews, and Pusha T said himself that Pharrell was passionate about making that intro song the first song, and it was for good reason. I like heartfelt rhymes, especially when you're up in age. All right, so this, and by all means, this episode, I absolutely want everyone to jump in the comments and say how you feel about it. You could disagree with me, just keep it respectful. You're entitled to your opinion, as I am mine. The first song, absolutely excellent. I think they should actually shoot a video for it because it has that much value. All right, we need more artists that are talented sharing heartfelt stories. Not because I'm promoting a bunch of people tearing up over a record, but let's get the emotion. Let's get more than just coke rhymes. I'm on the corner, I got the latest jeans, oh look at my chain, I'm bagging bitches. We established that throughout the whole 50 plus years of hip hop. We just celebrated 50 years of hip hop. We established that you guys are out there hustling, making money, driving foreigns. You got the girls behind you. You got more girls than the next guy. You got more chains than the next guy. You got more money than the next guy. We're done with that. And if any of you disagree with me on that, then you're the reason why the rap music is going down. And I'm not saying you can't talk about that as an artist, but we can't make that your entire brand, where the whole album is about you talking about that. This is why albums as a whole is like it's extinct. This is why we have one-hit wonders, guys that could make one good song and then they follow up with a mediocre song, because what else are you talking about on your records? With that being said, I do like this project. I do like this project, and I think Malice it's good that Malice is there, because Malice helps expand the range of the conversation on the songs, because had it been Pusha T by himself, it would still be a good album, but Pusha T has stuck to his brand of coke rhymes and talking about designer clothes. Listen, I'm like 50-50 on it, because it's like a contradiction saying that there's no problem with that, because he's been successful at it and it's carried him all the way through to this point of allowing his brother to return to reform the Clipse again. But again, I'm glad that Malice is there, because that first, I honestly don't believe that first track would have existed without Malice. And I think because Malice was back in the fold, and I guess, maybe it was a combination between Malice and Pharrell that sparked the idea. I want to know who actually sparked the idea for them to make that record. I would be super surprised if it's Pusha T. And if he mentioned that he was the reason behind, if he mentions that he's the reason behind that album, that record, I'm surprised. And if it's something that I missed in the interview and he actually said he was the reason why they did that song about their parents, I'm actually surprised, because he tends to keep his personal life at arm's length, which I'm not saying artists need to tell every single detail about their personal life, but listen, we need to hear more than the typical stuff. It's completely, it's overdone. If you're gonna be just talking about the cars you're driving, the girls, the money you got, blah blah blah, it's like, I don't know about any of you all, but I'm tuned out of that. And the only reason why I stay tuned in is if you happen to come with a good beat, and maybe your cadence or your presence on the track draws me in. But outside of that, I'm tired of hearing those stories. It can't be all you talk about. Talk about the arguments you had at home with your parents. Talk about the arguments you had with your lady. Be creative. In the era of content creators, that's why I like that they touched on this in the album. It was said that I create content, something along those lines. You know, in this era of content creators, I'm not seeing enough creativity within songs. All right, within songs. Now, again, I like the album. Overall, I love the album. I think it's hands down the best Clipse album ever. I would go as far as saying I don't think they should make another album together. I think Malice should go back into retirement, and Pusha T is gonna still be Pusha T. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Malice, the reason why his energy is so high, and he said it in interviews, is because he had that time off and he's just enjoying being back in the studio with his brother again. So when you have a motivation to record, that's when you should record. You should not be recording just for the sake of, you know, especially if you're not tied into a label. Obviously, if you're tied into a label, all that I'm saying goes out the window. But if you're not tied to a label, if you're an independent, I understand the need to stay current so that you don't lose your audience. But if you're not inspired to go in the booth, do not go in the booth. I don't want to hear anything watered down, which leads me to what I'm about to say now. I'm a Nas fan all the way. Nas's verse on the Clipse album was watered down. I don't even like the fact that they switched up the beat, because one thing I notice about Nas, on the slower tempo beats, he gets lazy. You know, and this message is to Nas. Listen, and the reason why I have to make sure I'm saying this about Nas is because I don't want anybody to think, oh, this is he's bashing the Clipse, he's bashing young artists. No, this is for all artists. All right. If you get to a point like Nas where you got other business ventures going on, you're about to open up a casino, that's all great. You're a grown man. Expand your portfolio. He's already a legend. So what I'm saying about this song doesn't make him less of a legend. He's legendary. My thing is, if you're gonna get in the booth and give a watered down performance, don't go in the booth. I don't care if you're Nas, Jay-Z, all the way down to a rapper that we haven't heard of. If you're not gonna have your full 1,000% of your all, don't go in the booth. Because first of all, especially when you're Nas, and this is why I could actually respect Jay-Z for like laying low and not doing anything. And the same thing with Andre 3000. Listen, if you're not gonna give 1,000%, don't go in the booth. I don't want to just hear you on a song just because you're Nas. All right, because I know too much about your music, Nas, to accept that verse from the Clipse album. All right, and it's funny, before the album dropped, they kind of leaked it. It must have been Nas that leaked his hand. He had somebody had their hand with a wine glass as they're driving on the highway, and they leaked a little snippet from Nas rapping. I'll be honest with you, when I heard that snippet, I was a little worried because I was like, I'm not even liking what I'm hearing in the snippet. You know, and then when I heard the whole thing, I was just like, come on, man, come on. Especially on an album like this, Clipse's finest album, I need Nas to come with that energy that he came with on Only Built for Cuban Links with Raekwon. I need that type of Nas. And you might say, oh, that's the old Nas. You want him to sound like the old Nas. No, I want him to sound like the Nas that he has inside. He's capable of pulling it out. He's pulled it out from time to time on the King's Disease trilogy, as well as the Magic trilogy. All right, especially on Speechless. Speechless, that's the Nas I want to hear. If you're gonna jump on the Clipse album, that's the Nas I want to hear. And here's another thing to artists in general, but especially Nas, because he's who I'm critiquing right now. it's okay to tell the people, listen, I want to be on your album, but that beat, you have anything else that I could jump on? Don't just jump on whatever they send you. And I don't know if maybe he actually liked that beat and that's why he jumped on it, but that wasn't a great performance. I really did not like it. It really bothers me that Nas is on a Clipse song and that's what he gave us. And by all means, any of you that actually like that as Nas fans, any of you that actually like what Nas gave to the Clipse album, let me know in the comments and please explain to me why you're accepting that. Yeah, he's talking grown talk, and yes, I moments ago was talking about, you know, depth in what you talk about as an artist. But don't tell me that's the Nas you want to hear, because that nothing about it to me was great. And again, that doesn't mean I'm not going to be a Nas fan. I'm always going to be a Nas fan. I stand on that. I'm always going to be a Nas fan for what he's done in the game and just the way he approached songs. You know, it's like he's in a league of his own. But with that being said, don't tarnish what you've built by just jumping on anything and just giving us watered down flows. I don't like that. I really, and I'm saying it passionately because I really did not like the Nas verse on that song. Right? Now, going over to Kendrick Lamar. They grabbed Kendrick Lamar and put him on that track, which was a track that they had over a year ago, right? They put him on for obvious reasons because Kendrick's name is up in lights right now. You know, he has an incredible run right now. But this is my message to Kendrick Lamar, right? And this is my message to the Clipse, right? Kendrick, we don't need more than 16. If Kendrick, it's safe to say Kendrick thinks he's nice. All right, let's forget about what the fans thinks. Forget about what the West Coast thinks. Kendrick himself, as all artists do, he thinks he's nice, right? If you believe that you're nice, Kendrick, you don't need to go over 16 bars. I do not want to hear any artist, including Nas, or any artist going past 16 bars unnecessarily. Yes, Game has been known to do that on mixtapes, but I don't want to hear you going past 16 bars because then it just drowns out. It just drowns it out. Whatever you have to say, it drowns it out. Like, Kendrick could have went in, killed the song in 16, and then just left. And it would have been like, yeah, I like that. But Kendrick came in slow, and then when he felt like picking up the pace, he picked up the pace and gave us way more than 16. And at that point, I was just like, I'm not feeling it. So yes, I'm not feeling the Kendrick verse either. Come at me in the comments, keep it in the comment section. Just keep it respectful. I'm not feeling the Kendrick. And not because Kendrick is trash. I don't think he's trash. I think he's a great artist, right? But we didn't need more than a little bit. Go in there, kill it. And I'm not saying do what 50 Cent did on Nas's Magic 3. I think it was Magic 3 or Magic 2. The song with Nas. And listen, forgive me for not knowing the titles. I should have had it queued up. This is an impromptu video, so let me just be clear with that before everybody's like, oh, you don't even know the name of the songs. Calm down, right? 50 Cent came in and gave like 6 bars to Nas's project, which is ridiculous. But those of you that do know and been following rap, Nas and 50 Cent, they've been on a song with each other before 50 Cent blew up. Right, I think the song was called Too Hot, and that song was incredible. But I'm not saying give too little effort like 50 Cent did on the Nas album, The Magic Project. Although what 50 Cent said was good, it was just very short, and everybody complained about that. It was just so short, you know, which I agree with. So I'm not saying give too little, but definitely don't give too much. Kendrick could have came in, killed the track, and left. You know what I'm saying? Go on the track, show your ass. I'm here. I'm on a Clipse album, and then leave. But don't go in there trying to take over the song, especially when the song already has 2 brothers on it. Here's another thing. And by all means, if anybody agrees with me, let me know in the comments you agree with me. Don't just watch this video and don't say anything, all right? Don't just say anything when it comes to disagreeing with me. Say something when I actually have a point. So listen. You have two brothers that gave a verse because they're the Clipse on that song, and then Kendrick comes in as the third person and decides to rhyme he just decides to just go. He just goes and stops when he feels like it. And to be honest with you, he went so long that when he stopped, I think the chorus came in or something came in, and it was sort of like, this is why it loses its value when you don't just you don't rhyme short and sweet. Stay within that 16, beat it up, beat it to a pulp. When you get in that booth, kill the 16 and then vanish. This way it has replay value because people are like, oh, nah, I have to hear that Kendrick again. No, instead he came in slow and then he started to go. It's one of the reasons why, you know, another person I'm going to attack. And I have respect for all the people I'm attacking. I'm attacking them from a standpoint of a fan and as an artist myself, right? Eminem does stuff like that. He did it on the Nas album with the EPMD. I think it was the EPMD track part 2, you know, and then he came in, you know, rhyming fast, and then rhymes fast for a very long time. We don't need that. We know you can rhyme fast, Eminem. You don't need to rhyme fast for a half an hour on a song. We don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that from no artist. This is why, like, even when it comes to like artists like Busta Rhymes, you know, it's hard for me to listen to a whole project from Busta Rhymes because I don't want to hear you. We know you can rhyme fast. You're talented. Congratulations, but we do not want to hear you rhyme fast for a half an hour. I don't care how fire the beat is. All right? And again, anyone that disagrees with me, I'll see you in the comments. Just keep it respectful. My delete finger is still on deck. I'll delete any disrespectful comment. All right? This is for real talk. You know what I'm saying? And everybody I mentioned, from Busta Rhymes to Eminem, Kendrick, Nas, salute to all of you. Legends, talented. But again, if you're going to show up and show out, give it your all or don't do it. What's the point? Why mess up your legacy? All of those names I mentioned have a legacy already. You know, Kendrick, we know you're doing your thing. We know you're doing your thing. We're seeing it. We're literally seeing it. We're seeing you on concert in different places. We saw you at the Super Bowl. We see you collect a whole bunch of Grammys. We know you're doing your thing. Get on the song and get out. The long verse killed it for me. I'll be honest with you. And I love the record. I love the record, but I'll be honest with you, when it gets to the Kendrick verse, I'm exhausted. Why? Because you got two brothers rapping on it. If it was only just Malice, or it was one of those songs where just Malice was on it and then you came on, maybe I could deal with it. If it was just Pusha T and you came on, maybe I could deal with it. But the brothers both had a verse and then you come on and decide to make this thing about you. If you know you're the man, get in, get out. Get in, get out. We don't need you don't need to be on there, because then it makes me wonder whether or not you were confident in your verse. Because I'll be honest with you, if I was given that track, I'm going to write it where I go in and I go out, because I'm confident that I'm going to say something that is going to get replay value. People are going to say, who was that guy on the song? Put that back on. That's how you're supposed to write. And for those of you that say, well, you talking like, you know better than people that are established. You don't even have anything to back up your claims. You're right. I don't have anything to back up my claims, but I'm that confident in my ability. You know, right? I'm that confident in my ability. I am super confident in my ability. The only difference between me and them is the connections they have, and they met the right people that believed in them. Because outside of that, with the exception of Nas, Eminem, and Eminem, but when we're talking Busta Rhymes, Kendrick, Pusha T, I'm gonna go on the limb and say I'm not threatened by any of those names. You know, but this is not about me, but I'm just making that clear for those of you that are like, oh, you talking like, you could do better than them. Give me the resources and I'll show you a project. And I stand on that. Give me the resources and I'll show you a project. And I don't even need heavy features. All right? I just need the production, and not because the production is going to hold me up. I just need the right producer that knows my sound and knows how to bring the most out of my writing, and then just step aside and let me do the rest. But this is not about me. This is about the Clipse album, the excellent album, and what I didn't like about the Nas feature and the Kendrick feature. All right? Stove God Cook, salute. I loved it. You did BSF and the whole Griselda team. You did them justice on that song. Love it. Love, 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 love it. Tyler, the Creator, loved it. Loved it so much, I had to go back and say, that was Tyler? Because I don't follow Tyler, the Creator, but salute Tyler, the Creator. And maybe it's shame on me for not following Tyler, the Creator. Tyler, the Creator, salute, salute, salute. Stove God Cook, salute, salute, salute. John Legend, salute. The first record, I should pull over right now, stand up and salute. That first record, I felt that. As I'm sure all of you all felt it. Incredible record. Pharrell, you knew what you were doing when you told them you put in this first. You put in that song first. You absolutely know what you were doing. Incredible production, Pharrell. Incredible production. This is one of them Clipse projects. Like I'm saying, it's like the Clipse version of the score for the Fugees or Lauryn Hill's Miseducation. They outdid themselves. I don't want to see them do another project after this. And remember, you heard it here first on Honorable Men Discord. I think if they try to do it again, it's not going to have the same passion. Why? Because you're hearing the energy from Malice, and his brother Pusha T is following that energy because he was excited too to have his brother back in the booth whilst they recorded in a unconventional setting in Paris, whilst Pharrell was multitasking working for Louis Vuitton. Incredible project. Incredible project. I love, 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 love this project. So I know at the end of the day, the energy and what I was saying about the features sounds like, does he love the project or does he not like the project? No, I love the project. I love the project. All right. Love it so much. Beforehand, tickets was bought. I'm going to be out there at one of their concerts, and I'll explain that later. I won't say that now ahead of time, but I'm going to be at one of their concerts because I love the project so much. They have tour dates, so I'm going to be supporting one of the tour dates. But yeah, salute to the Clipse. Again, this was all my critique respectfully to those artists. Nas, I didn't like that verse, Nas. Especially when you had... First of all, let me say this too, man. I like how they use DJ Clue on the songs, right? Because what's their connection to Clue? It's not like they're from Queens. They're from VA. I think they also have connections to the Bronx, if I'm not mistaken, right? But they don't necessarily have a Queens connection to have Clue on the project. And that's not to say they need a Queens connection to have Clue on the project. But it was a pleasant surprise. And I love hearing that Clue. That brings me back to the trips to Jamaica Avenue to get mixtape CDs, particularly DJ Clue. So to hear the Clue. And that's another reason why the Nas verse just kills it for me. Because every time I heard Clue, and then Nas come on it, it's like Nas is really spitting. This version of Nas with the background drops of Clue, this version of Nas was not it. It was not it. And this is why, like, when I have to end up arguing with friends of mine about whether or not Nas fell off, this gives them fuel for their argument because it was watered down. It was watered down. That's not the flow that Nas needs to give to a project like this. Actually, Nas doesn't need to give that type of energy to any project. I'll be honest with you. He's too legendary for that. But that's my thoughts on it. That was my long rant on the Clipse album. Thank you for your patience if you watched the whole thing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, But most importantly, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop content daily, 5 p.m. Eastern time. All right? And I will get into this Superman movie because if you thought I had energy speaking on the Clipse album, stay tuned for the Superman review. Take care.